Raptors fans celebrating the return of Kawhi Leonard to Toronto may want to put their excitement on hold. The team says it has to put the proposed trade on pause during an NBA investigation into his former team. The investigation reportedly stems from Leonard signing a $28 million no-show endorsement deal while with the LA Clippers. It's a ploy that can be used to get around a team's salary cap. The deal allegedly required no work beyond Leonard remaining with the Clippers. That company that made the deal later went bankrupt, and its co-founder was charged with fraud. The Raptors put out a statement saying the team will wait until the investigation is complete before moving ahead with the trade, but that they remain eager to bring Leonard back to Toronto. So, what does this mean for the agreement, and will we see Kawhi Leonard in a Raptors jersey again? For a closer look at that transaction, we're joined now by Savannah Hamilton. She's a Toronto-based basketball reporter and joins us today from Montreal. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, so Savannah, we know that rumors of Kawhi's alleged no-show agreement began last year, but the investigation is still ongoing. What are some of the current hurdles when it comes to trying to make this trade concrete?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the investigation details still have yet to, I guess, come to fruition in terms of the final result, the verdict, what needs to come to light in order for this trade to happen. Obviously, there's mutual interest. It's widely reported on both sides that, Kawhi Leonard is to become a Toronto Raptor, most likely for quite the extensive trade package that Toronto has presented to the Clippers. Now, the biggest issue is the fact that the league basically released a statement saying that if this trade were to were to come through right now, Toronto wouldn't have to inherit any basically consequences that came out of the investigation on a contractual team side. That doesn't mean specific penalties to the ownership or group that is related directly to the Clippers, but for any penalties related to Kawhi's contract, that's something that the team would have to inherit, and that's what they're currently navigating. So to put it gently, everything's on pause until that's figured out.
Let's break down exactly what we're talking about here when we're talking about a $28 million U.S. no-show endorsement deal with this company. What exactly are the implications here?
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, there was somebody who was already charged for fraud. This is a way of circumventing the salary cap in the NBA, which is not allowed at all. The penalties have to obviously be sanctioned by the league, and we'll find out more details of what exactly that could look like. Obviously, it could result in something as a suspension. It could result in a fine. We don't know exactly what the penalties would be until the investigation's over, of course. But it's not good because it's an off-the-book source of income, and $28 million when he's currently on a $50 million contract, which is the contract that the Raptors were willing to trade for and inherit. So what that consequence looks like, we're not quite sure. And until there is certainty, that's what the Toronto Raptors are waiting to find out and put on pause for.
Do you think that the outcome of this could potentially taint Kawhi Leonard in terms of whether or not he would still be someone that the Toronto Raptors want to bring over?
I would say that for now, until the details are obviously solidified, but there's a high chance he's still going to be a Toronto Raptor in this. In terms of taint, I feel like that's all in perspective of, what comes from this. And, it's a bit of a tricky situation. I'm going to be quite honest, because when it comes to salary cap circumvention, if anything is validated out of this, you have to consider how much did the former organization, being the Clippers, play a part in that? How much did the ownership of the Clippers group play a part in that? And then how much was on Kawhi's part too? How much was he aware of even, because let's not forget that NBA players are oftentimes represented by other people in their circle, management, family, close friends that sign off on their behalf a lot of the times. And they're, I don't say blind trusting, but a lot of times athletes do trust those types of people. So that's why there's an investigation. They're going to figure out all those types of details and how much each side was aware of, and the consequences or maybe no consequences will come out of this as well.
Okay, so Savannah, let's focus on what could potentially lie ahead. We know that there's a lot of nostalgia when it comes to Kawhi Leonard in the city of Toronto, given that, of course, he helped lead the team to the 2019 championship. I'm wondering, several years have passed since. Is he still the sort of key player that, of course, fans could rally behind, could be so helpful to the team as well? So where does nostalgia versus current state of play face each other?
Honestly, like, Kawhi is coming off of one of his best career seasons. And so he is still an asset in this league. And everyone's looking at his age of, 35. He's not the same player in terms of youth, maybe when he was in 2019. But let's not forget, like, that 2019 season, he didn't have the healthiest season. In fact, the Raptors actually invented a term called load management to make sure that he was good for that playoff run. And so even though he's older now, he's 35, like I said, he's sixth in the league in scoring. He's above Nikola Jokic, who was the previous, not Shea, but like the one before Shea, MVP, multiple time MVP. He played more games than Luka Doncic this past season. And so that kind of tells you that, like, no, he still has some good years in him left. And he's also made it very clear that big reason why they're even having this talk is the fact that not only does he want to play here for this season, but this is the only team he demanded he signs an extension with after this for 2 years. So the commitment level is there. I think that the health is there because Toronto has some of the best health facilities. And so he's absolutely still an asset to any team in this league. And, Toronto is very fortunate if this whole trade goes through. He's key. He'd be a key player.
Very interesting insights. Thank you for your time today, Savannah. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
That is basketball journalist Savannah Hamilton. Thanks again.